Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Tuesday, July 20th market update. On the economic front, June housing starts were down 5% on top of the May numbers where we were down 14.9%, so that didn't look too great. Initial reaction wasn't good, but of course we finished the market finished pretty well on the day. Actually, a huge rally when you count how low we went. So on deck for tomorrow, we'll have the EIA Petroleum Status Report. Earnings, I'll touch on a few, and as far as how after hours, the percentage up or down is just whenever I looked at. I'm sure it's changed by now. Uh, Yahoo beat on the bottom line, which is the earnings per share, and they missed on the top line, which is revenue. They're down about 7%, and of course, Apple knocked it out of the park on bottom and top line. They were up over 2%. After hour trading, VMW beat. They were up over 3% or almost 3% in after hours trading, and Seagate missed. They were down about 4% in after hours trading. So, and kind of the mist on the revenue seems to be kind of a theme, but it's been kind of a theme of late. So, the dollar, gold, silver, copper, oil, they were all up. Light sweet crude futures were up 90 cents to settle at 77.44, and that still is the August contract. So we're looking at the dollar via the UUP, the ETF. We were up a little bit, didn't move a whole lot, 0.17%. Over to the West Texas Intermediate Crude Point and Figure chart. Still on a sell signal. We're still stuck here. We need to print 80 to go back on a buy signal on crude. Over to the Dow. Dow closed up 75 points to 10,229. And of course, that was, if you count the low, we moved up 229 points. So even though we were up 75, it was quite a rally off the bottom. It was pretty crazy. So the S&P closed up 12 points to 1,083. NASDAQ closed up 24 points to 2222. And the Russell closed up 11 points to 624. The Russell had the larger percent gain, up 1.82%. And the Dow was the weakest, of course, still up 0.74%. Volume across the indices were kind of mixed, of below average to above average, close to average, or, overall. It was, kind of a mixed day as far as volume goes. Of course, looking at the Dow, we're back above, well, we closed above 30 there, closed above 30. We still got this trend line, and it looks kind of the same across all of these until... And of course, we have this news, a lot of earnings right now, and we've got more housing numbers. I think Thursday coming out, and I don't know if the market cares right now. The housing stocks were so oversold; they had a pretty big rally today. So until we can close, I would say over about 1,100 or so on the S&P, then I can be more bullish. I'm still pretty neutral right now. I'm still have a bearish lean because we keep making these lower highs and these lower lows. Except for here, we didn't, but we haven't finished. One day didn't change everything. So we're still in here. I'd like to see us there. Same way on the NASDAQ. I'd like to see us close above this gold line's the 50-day moving average. We also have the 200 overhead, which is about 22.56 here on the NASDAQ. I'd like to see us get over those and close above those. I can get more bullish on the market. Even though, we had a great day today. See, gold, nice bounce on gold. A lot of volume behind it, though. It just kind of bounced right back into this resistance area. So we'll see. This is a gold ETF. We'll see what happens to gold after that. And same thing here with silver. Not a lot of volume. More selling here than there was buying right here on SLV, the silver ETF. Copper, still have this downtrend line to overcome. It's just every time we get near it is usually when we roll over. So we'll see what happens this time. But we actually did have some volume coming in a little bit on the copper ETF JJC. XLF, this thing is a wild ride. So, we're up here, down, and then, big bounce today. Still below the 30-day right here. VIX. No volatility. We're lost 8%, but every time we get down and around here, we bounce some at least, bounced huge here and a little bit here. So we'll see what we we're down near in these 20s, 23 plus area. And FXE, look at the Euro ETF. Actually pulled back a little bit today. It's been moving pretty good here, and then it pulled back a little bit on lighter volume. Let's go take a look at the McClellan oscillator on the NYSE. All right. There we go. So we are about overbought. We're getting about 50 or so. We're getting there. So we're kind of in that area, but not very overbought. We're just slightly about 50s, or 60, 80 is more overbought, but getting there a little bit. NYSE. Over to chart watch, bunch of charts to go through. And I still, I encourage caution until we really, like I said, close above 1100. The market shows it'll support us above the 50, say on the NASDAQ, and not just close above it once. I mean, support us there. I mean, we, let charts set up. But as far as, like I said, trading's fine. But, Walter, nice breakout above this, right into the 30-day moving average, by the way. But some nice volume breaking out above the downtrend line today. A lot of the commodity type stocks, huge move today. Cliffs breaking out above the downtrend line today. Huge move up over 8%. Vail, huge bounce above the downtrend lines. Looks good there. Freeport McMoran, it closed above it a little bit. It broke down here with some volume. So, maybe it'll get back up to here. We'll see where it goes. But volume's coming in, so it's looking pretty good. What's up? ANR, Alpha Natural Resources. Still in the triangle, but a lot of volume coming in. And it had a 7.7% move today. But you might want to keep your eye on it, see if it's bottoming here. It needs to break out and, over this downtrend line. And if commodities keep going higher, it should perform. Caterpillar is at resistance, but a lot of volume coming in today. This is one of the triangles we've been watching. Joy Global broke out above the downtrend line today. Bucyrus breaking higher today. GNK, huge move up, 10%. Went flying higher. I'm sure there's some short covering there. Weatherford had earnings, which were good, and it did kind of turn into a inverted hammer, shooting star type. But we'll see what happens right here. But it had a lot of volume and it had good earnings. I think revenue increased by, I think it was 22%. I believe it was. What else? Halliburton breaking higher today, looks good. SLB breaking out, looks good. CRR bounced off the trend line, so it's looking pretty good. Whiting had a up, pulled back a little bit, did take out this prior high right here though. Does have the 30 above it though, so watch that. X breaking out above the downtrend line. AKS right around resistance of the trend line. And the rest of these we've looked at before. That's the one I talked about yesterday. Took off higher today. This one, we'll see what it's doing. It tried to break down a lot, tried to sell it, and then the market was so strong it pulled back up. So we'll see if it holds that or if it breaks down. It could be shorted. Pot still looks good. CF, the ags have been doing pretty good. It's looking good. That ADTN, tight consolidation still looks fine. It's typically bullish. CLB went a little higher today. Quest looks good. Southern Company, talked about this yesterday, broke out higher today. Apple on the back of earnings, it is actually right now about 260, up actually about 3%. So when it was after hours is what it wound up getting to. So it's actually about 260. So it did break out above the downtrend line and after hours trading. After earnings, Cirrus will probably get even a bigger bounce on the back of Apple, and it had its earnings as well, and I did not see them, so I'm not sure, but I guess it was pretty good because it went up. Baidu, it's above the 30, but it's got that downtrend line resistance, so I'd like to see it break out above there. Green Mountain breaking higher today. SH pulling back. I'd still keep it on my radar. Who knows what we're going to do the rest of the week or next week. That one still looks fine, still holding up. Westport still looks fine, still holding the downtrend line. Priceline, it's consolidating, it still looks fine. IVN looks fine. NTAP still looking good. And then the little semi stock breaking higher today, still looks fine. So take a look at the current market signals. Follow the point and figure charts for the Dow, Nasdaq, S&P. So Nasdaq's still the only one on a buy. These are still on sells. We're gonna have to go higher to get these back on buy signals. So, and there's really no change here. That's really all I have for today, and we'll see how the next few days play out and see if we can get above that, say, 1100 or so on the S&P and actually get bullish. All right, thanks for watching.